Wait, one sec. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? I actually can't hear for once. Shit. Oh, don't tell me you can't hear me. Oh, you can. Thumbs up. Boom. You can hear me. Let's go. Let's go, people. Let's do this. Oh. Let's do this, humans. I was a bit nervous that you couldn't hear me, but you can hear me. What's good in the hood, peeps? What's good in the hood? All right, first things first, smash the bloody like button, hit that subscribe button. That's the first things first. I'm doing this live during my first love. Liverpool are playing right now. My first love, the most important thing in my life. And I'm doing a live just because I said 8:30 and I fucked up with the time. All right, let me just quickly say hello to a few people in there just because that's what we do. The Lost Soul says evening the Lost Soul. Luke's in the building. Paul Taylor is in the building. Bad Nasher is in the building. Shit. You know what I like? It's the same people every weekend. I love it. Sean Fowler's here. Nice to see Ade's lovely Maltese ahead. Yep, freshly trimmed as well. Freshly trimmed. Reese Morris. A200 is in it. J.O. Robert Combe. Gary Nicholas. Bloody hell. There's 222 of you already. All I can say is thank you. All right, we've got a drink tonight. Drink of choice tonight. Bit of Gentleman Jack. Beautiful. The only thing that's disappointing, if I can open it, is that I don't have any ice cubes. So we're going to go straight. Obviously, don't mix this with Coke or anything, people. It's going to go straight. What would you say that is? I'd say that's a double, maybe just a bit more. Yeah. So that's going to get me through the next hour. So, cheers to you all. Cheers, everyone. It's been a long day. It's been a long week, you know. It's good shit. That right there is good shit. Even my sister watches these videos now, yeah? And she's so scared that this is going to fall down, just like all of you are. I ain't scared, homies. I ain't scared. All right. Who else is in here? Jack Beer Fox is in the building. Muzzy Moyo is in the building as well. And you know what he says? It feels like a whiskey kind of night. Certainly does. Certainly does. We got some good shit here as well. There's some good shit, by the way. Gentleman Jack's good shit. It's not the. I've got a lot of cheap shit, but this is the good shit. Matthew Swindles is there. All right. Should we just get with it? Shall we get with it? That random guy says, Addy's going to quit YouTube when the glass falls. It will never fall. It will never fall. Jeez. All right, let's go. Should we talk about, what should we talk about first? I want to kind of do it in order. I'm going to spend about 1 minute on Joseph Parker Jr. Far. That's all it's getting is 1 minute. 1 minute on Joseph Parker, and then we move on. How boring was that fight? I had to do a live along for that fight for 2.5 hours, and it was boring. Joseph Parker's stock has definitely dropped. Without a doubt, it's definitely dropped. Some might say it hasn't. It has. I've always said he was a top 10 fighter. I don't know now. I don't know. He needs to be way more aggressive. There's so many things that are wrong with Joseph Parker and the way he fights. I just like him as a person, so maybe that's what it is. I like him as a person, but I think he needs to ditch his trainer, Kevin Barry, and needs to become a lot more aggressive. Because there are times when he does kind of up the aggression level and he looks pretty good. But most times it's like he's playing it safe all the time. And I just can't stand it. They're obviously now trying to sell us Chisora versus Parker. Or at least Chisora is trying to sell it, right? He's tweeting like mad. He's making videos about, Chisora versus Chicken. I don't know if look, I have interest in it because I think it will be a good fight, but it's difficult to sell Chisora versus Parker over here on pay-per-view. Remember, pay-per-view. The fact is, Chisora's come off a loss and Parker looked crap. How are you going to sell that to us? I don't know. I don't know. Super chat here from G-Man, who must have just finished his live, or he's actually doing this and doing his live and watching me at the same time. Parker versus Chisora, unanimous decision, Chisora for me. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know. All right, that's it. 1 minute's over. We're not talking about Parker anymore because that fight was horrendous, horrendously bad. Let's quickly go to the Canelo card. I want to talk about that Zhang versus Jerry Forrest fight. I can't remember. I'm trying to think of the last time a fight has been knocked down 3 times and managed to escape with a draw or a win. And I was thinking, Juan Manuel Marquez is probably the only one I can think of. I can't think of any other fighter. Zhang just gassed. Just gassed from round 4 onwards. There was nothing in the tank. Nothing. But massive credit to Jerry Forrest. Most fighters, it's not like Jerry Forrest is an unbeaten kid coming up. Most fighters that have lost, what's Jerry Forrest lost? 4 times? After getting knocked down 3 times, you're kind of, you know it's going to be difficult from there. Kept on going. And in the end, got a draw. Massive credit to him. Well done. And he actually celebrated the draw at the end, didn't he? He was very happy. He screamed out something at the end as well. So credit to him. Obviously, look, this isn't a good look for Zhang. They're trying to fast track him. He looked good for a big man. I actually thought his feet movement was pretty good. Obviously, has got power, just doesn't have a gas tank at all, by the way, at all. I mean, for you to gas after 3 rounds, it's pretty bad. But I do want to see Zhang again. I do like, there's something I like about him. And I like Jerry Forrest as well. Remember, Jerry Forrest has only lost to, early on, he lost to Gerald Washington coming up. He's lost to Carlos Takam and someone else. So he's not a slouch. He's not a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. So look, there's something about him. And I just like someone that can get up off the canvas as many times as he did and keep going. So I like Jerry Forrest. Someone said Jerry Forrest won every round after the 3rd, got robbed. Yeah, but there was 3 10-8s. Maybe. My calculations are pretty crap. Adam Steiner says 1 more minute and Forrest would have got a KO. Don't know about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Zhang looked like he was going, like fucking, like you're chopping a tree down, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. 2 secs. What else we got here about anything? Anyone saying anything about Forrest? 2 seconds. Yeah, someone else saying it as well, that Forrest won every single round after the 3rd, got robbed. Forrest would be okay with that. You're probably right. Look, we understand how it works. This is boxing. Boxing is a dodgy, corrupt sport. We get it. But yeah, he'll be happy with a draw against Zhang. Move on. I would love to see him over here. I think there are so many good fights for him over here with some of our prospects. He's a good fighter and he comes to fight. Like, you would bring him over here and he's not just taking money and accepting it. He's coming to win and fight. Credit to him. Massive credit to him. All right, let's talk about Yildirim before we move on and talk about Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders. Let's talk about how fucking disappointed Yildirim was. That's shocking, by the way. That performance is embarrassing. I'm all in favor of mandatories. I think it helps fighters that don't have a name value, and it helps that if you're coming up the right way and, you fight your internationals and all that crap, you get a mandatory shot. I'm in favor of it. First and foremost, he shouldn't have had a mandatory shot, but that's neither here nor there. He froze on the big stage more than anyone else I've seen for a long time. He literally froze. I mean, I've watched Yildirim's fights before. Yildirim comes to fight. He's actually a fast starter. He comes to fight, he throws punches, he goes for it. It's almost as though he got hit with something, and I didn't even see what hit him. Maybe a couple of body shots, and he didn't want to be in there. He didn't want to be in there at all. He went to the corner at the end of the round prior to it being stopped, and Joel Diaz is shouting at him, "Do you want to be here? I'm going to stop the fight." He is literally looking at Joel Diaz like that, not saying anything. And I was thinking, is there a language problem here? Like, what's going on? Didn't want to be there. That was an embarrassing performance from a WBC mandatory. That wasn't a voluntary plucked off the street. That was a mandatory, and that was embarrassing. It really was. It was so embarrassing. People are saying things like it was, the fight was fixed. That's how embarrassing it was, right? I mean, that almost worked out perfect for Canelo. You've had your mandatory, you got paid some money, you've had no injuries, nothing, no cut, no work, nothing. Perfect. Move on to Billy Joe Saunders. Shocking. I mean, Yildirim should be embarrassed. Should be embarrassed. I don't know what he's getting paid for that fight, but he doesn't deserve a penny of it. A penny. I'm never one to say go out on your shield, but do something. If you're not going to go out on your shield, do something. You're the bigger man in there. Yildirim has fought at light heavyweight before. He is the bigger man by far. Do something. Bully him. Try something. You're a professional boxer. Try something. Look, I'm getting up ahead of steam here. I think Canelo's a good boxer. In fact, I think Canelo's a great boxer. I don't think Canelo's a fucking machine. You know, I don't think Canelo is the second coming of the greatest fight we've ever seen. Someone's got to go in there and do something to him. I mean, I think people need to stop acting like this guy can't be dented. He can be dented. I just like, come on, man. Someone needs to do something. It's getting silly now. Canelo's just out here, just, don't know, just walking through people. Walking through people. What the hell's going on? I think I've missed a couple of super chats. I do apologise. Super chat here from Muzzy Moy. Apologies, people. Ryan kept banging on about third round stoppage, and the guy quits before start of the fourth. There must have been a lot of money on the third round. Does that still count as a third round stoppage? Not quite sure. Probably does, actually, doesn't it? Ade, can we send Conor Ben to train with Reynoso? Imagine that. Wouldn't mind that, you know. Wouldn't mind. By the way, do you guys watch? Again, I don't know if you guys, I've said this before a lot, but do you guys watch Conor Ben's YouTube channel? Fantastic content. Honestly, I'm surprised he doesn't have more subscribers. He's got something like 13, 14,000. I'm surprised he doesn't have 100,000 subscribers because it really is good. It gives you a good insight about his training, his personal life. I really like it. I'm a big fan of Conor Ben. I'm a really big fan. But yeah, can we get back to Yildirim, please? He was awful. It was disgraceful. It was disgraceful. I don't know what people had paid to go and watch Canelo. Look, people understood that Canelo is better than Yildirim, and I kind of predicted that it will probably go 6 or 7. I was like, I thought that Yildirim's going to offer him some work, but he done nothing. I don't know how many punches he threw, but I think he landed maybe 1 or 2 punches. It's just disgusting. Oh, I'm so upset with Yildirim, honestly. Burn 8 Void said he didn't fight for 2 years. Don't care. I don't care if he didn't fight for 2 years. Throw punches. I don't understand what that means. Not fighting for 2 years would mean a couple of things. It would mean your timing might be off, right? And you're going to gas. That has nothing to do with letting your hands go. Let your hands go so that you can say, you can then say, I only had enough for 4 or 5 rounds because, I hadn't fought for 2 years. He didn't even do that. He was literally like that. Canelo's going away to the body. Don't get me wrong, Canelo's landing some good shots. I'm not trying to say Canelo's not landing, but he's doing nothing. And I'm thinking, where's the aggressive Yildirim I saw against Eubank Jr.? I don't know. Again, maybe he got stung by something because I've spoken to boxers before in the past and they have been touched by a fighter like bang and they're like, ooh, they go into their shell. Maybe it was that, but I want to see more. This is a WBC super middleweight title shot. This is what Yildirim would have been waiting for since he laced up the gloves. You're fighting Canelo on the zone in front of millions in Miami and you froze. Joel Diaz, his trainer, must just wanted to have slapped him. Do you remember when, I don't remember, I think it was Manny Stewart and it might have been Vladimir Klitschko against Kevin Johnson or someone. And Manny Stewart is livid and he's screaming at him like, you got to go out there and do something. We're not accepting you not throwing your hands. Do something. And Joel Diaz needed someone like a Nazim Richardson or a Manny Stewart in his corner to say, you better fucking do something. You're embarrassing us. Like, Canelo isn't a robot. Like, let's stop this. I love Canelo, but Canelo ain't that. Jesus. Someone's here, Big Bundit, is saying he got 5 million. Nah, there's no way he got 5 million. There's no way Yildirim got 5 million. No way. Scott Arbuckle says, Canelo didn't even get out of second gear. No, he didn't. Didn't get out of second gear. T-Tone Toledo 1965 says, Canelo makes the best in the world look normal. This is a good shout as well. Big Bundit saying it was the manager who stopped it. No. The manager asked Yildirim something. Yildirim then spoke to the manager, then the manager stopped it. Yildirim wanted out. It wasn't the manager. That manager is actually very emotional. I don't know if you guys have seen him in the past. Very emotional. It was Yildirim that spoke to the manager. Sorry, the manager asked Yildirim a question in Turkish, I'm guessing. Yildirim then spoke to his manager. Then the manager went to Yildirim, stop the fight. Like it was a disgrace. Honestly, disgrace. Again, world title shot. But hey, this is it now, isn't it? This is just disgraceful. All right, let's get through to a couple more questions. CRB in the building says, oh, look, we've not even, CRB Blood, we've not even talked about AJ Fury yet. You're messaging me about AJ Fury. Oh, AJ Fury not happening, says CRB. Also, check what I sent you on Instagram. AJ, the worldwide superstar. Laughing my ass off. ESPN don't want it. Of little value. You know the problem is of Americans. This is and this is the very truth. It's like, you know, Americans, like, for example, when they win the NBA, they call it the World Championships. They win the NFL, they call it the World Championships. America think being known in America is that's it. If you're not known in America, you're not a worldwide star. It's like America forget there's a thing called Asia and Africa and Europe. And that's fact. Hence why they call the NBA championships the World Championships, even though it's a sport only in America and one team in Canada. You know what I mean? It's almost like the Champions League, you know, which is a massive sport, right? The European Champions League, and the winners calling it the World Championships. We don't do that. So you talking about ESPN as though, like if you're not known in America, you're not a worldwide star. AJ is known massively in Africa, massively in Europe, and massively in Asia, which is 4/5 of the world. But hey, you think he's not a worldwide star because Americans don't know him? Okay. Because America don't know AJ. Because America run the world. Fucking hell. Jesus. Quinn 40 says, evening Ade. In the corner, Yildirim's trainer was talking to him. Yildirim just had a blank stare all the time. He didn't want to know after the first round. Didn't want to know. Didn't want to know. Again, very embarrassed. Very, very. I'm embarrassed for Yildirim because there was a big, like I work for a Turkish channel. I do some stuff for them called TRT World, which is kind of like, it's a state-run channel in Turkey. So it's almost like BBC One of England. And I know for a fact, like, this was a massive deal for them. Yildirim fighting Canelo was huge. It's a bit tough for me to say Yildirim has embarrassed himself and his country, but fuck it, I'm going to say it. He's embarrassed himself and his country by not going for it. Canelo's the better fighter. We all know this. Canelo is the pound for pound #1 in the world. Have a go. Have a go. That's all I ask. This is a Canelo that fought Callum Smith in December. This is a Canelo that's really overlooking you, and he's got Billy Joe Saunders in May. You're no one to him. Have a go. Surprise him. Show a different few looks. Didn't want to know. See, everyone's saying he got paid 2.5 million. You 2.5 million for that. I'm telling you now, this is something dodgy with the WBC in it. I can't remember what happened with him and Anthony Dirrell, but there's obviously something dodgy here because, anyway, 2.5 million for that. Embarrassing. This is some good shit. All right. What we got here? Big Nick says, Ade, bigger fighters do the same. What do you mean by that, Big Nick? Please send in another message. What do you mean bigger? Do you mean bigger fighters freeze and go into a shell? Yeah, they do. And I will go at them as well. If that's what you mean. I don't know if that's what you mean, Big Nick. But clarify it. Madison's boxing says, I hope Billy Joe does something. All right, let's talk about this. Let's move on from Yildirim because that's a waste of space. That's a waste of my effing energy. Let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders, right? It's the fight we want to see. I'm thoroughly excited for it. I tweeted out today and I said, right now, this is peak Canelo with a capital P. In fact, all letters capital, E-A-N-K. I said, this is a Canelo that's firing on all cylinders. He is super confident. He's got that fear factor about him. He loves the big stage, etc., etc. This would be the biggest win by any Brit ever abroad. So that's Lloyd Honeyghan against Don Curry. That's Tyson Fury, Vladimir Klitschko, anyone. Billy Joe Saunders has to be at his best and then some. So being at his best isn't enough, right? Because the best I've seen is Lemieux. That's not enough. I need to see Lemieux ×5 to beat Canelo. That's how good he has to be. But one thing I like about Billy Joe he ain't gonna freeze. I know that for a fact. Billy Joe has got that kind of character about him where you just know Billy Joe is not freezing. In fact, he's got that arrogance about him. Isn't gonna phase him. I felt like Yildirim looked phased by the limelight of it all. With that singer rapping and Canelo in and everything seemed to phase him. It was waiting in the ring for like 10, 15 minutes. He actually looked dry. I was watching the fight thinking, why is he dry? Like, do something as you're waiting. Billy Joe ain't gonna be phased by any of this. Billy Joe is gonna be ready for it. Now, do I think that's enough? No, I don't. I don't think that's enough. But one thing I do know, Billy Joe will have a go. Billy Joe is gonna box, and he's gonna box beautifully. And he's going to cause Canelo some problems. David Benavidez said the same thing. Billy Joe will cause me problems. Cause Canelo problems. Canelo's even said the same thing. Billy Joe, as a southpaw, will cause him some problems. Billy Joe will cause problems. Is that enough? I don't know. I don't know. All right, a couple of super chats are coming in. Let me quickly read them before I go off on a tangent. Stanley Redden says, Ade, do you have any idea who the main event of the proposed Matchroom pay-per-view in April will be? What would have been Warrington Jew, not Chisora Parker, is it? I don't think it is Chisora Parker. I think it's Katie Taylor versus someone. I think it's too soon for Chisora Parker. Chisora, yeah, what are we? Now we're March pretty much on Monday, right? No. I think it might be Katie Taylor. I mean, there's no one else. When is Okoli versus Glowacki? So I think it might be a Katie Taylor headline fight and a Okoli Glowacki. I need to check the Okoli fight date quickly. Let's have a quick look. When's Okoli fighting Glowacki? I should know all this, shouldn't I? Okay, no, Okoli fighting Glowacki 20th of March. I wonder what that is then. I think it's Katie Taylor, but I don't know who she's fighting. I don't know. Is Katie Taylor a pay-per-view fighter? Don't know. Don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. Adam Steiner says, loving the passion tonight. Keep up the good work. Adam, I'm just annoyed. CRB annoyed me with this AJ Superstar thing. CRB, send some messages. I want to hear from you. Jody Spencer says, Super Chat, would this Canelo currently beat Floyd in a rematch? The problem with that question, it's a question that a lot of people have asked. The problem with that question is that this is a Canelo at 168. Obviously, he fought Floyd at 154, although Floyd came in at, 150, 151. This is the problem. And you know what it is? It's funny as well, because a lot of people have this thought process that Floyd got Canelo when Canelo was inexperienced, young, and all that. Floyd was a bit old, you know. Like, that wasn't Floyd's peak. So it's funny because Floyd was past his peak when he fought Canelo. In terms of age, in terms of best performances, although I thought it was a fantastic performance, that's not the best Floyd I've ever seen in my life. The best Floyd I've ever seen in terms of speed, power, aggression, is Corrales. That was the best Floyd I've ever seen. And that Floyd is at 135. So, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that Floyd going to 151, 152 is Floyd going above and beyond. So they would have to meet again at 151. So would I take, the best Canelo we're seeing right now is 168. The best Floyd I've ever seen is 130. There has to be a middle ground somewhere. That middle ground is 150, 151. I would put my money on Floyd every single day of the week because Floyd is just Floyd Mayweather and he's just that damn good. Don't be fooled by the people that Canelo were fighting and beating. There's no one that's anything like Floyd that he's beaten. Nobody. As good as Canelo is right now, Floyd's a whole different kettle of fish. Mentally, just the build-up, it's just a whole different ballgame. Floyd is special. Floyd is very, very special. So I would always edge towards Floyd, but who knows, right? Who knows? Quinn 40 says, I do believe Billy Joe can win, but he has to embarrass Canelo. Movement is his key. But for 12 rounds, he has to be in the best shape of his life. He does. Now, like you, I watched a Billy Joe Saunders fight against Martin Murray, albeit he was out for a while. That could be very important, by the way, that Martin Murray fight. I mean, it was key, I think, to get that fight in. It was almost get the ring rust off, as they say, right? He didn't look good against Martin Murray, but that's okay. Don't look good against Martin Murray, look good against Canelo. There's no point in him looking very special against Martin Murray and then he has nothing to offer for Canelo. I think we are going to see a very, very good... Billy Joe can box, you know, people. As much as I've said Canelo beats him, and I think Canelo does, I'm not just going to jump on the British bandwagon. Billy Joe can box. But I've seen him tagged a couple of times. I've seen him tagged. I think, you know, the problem with a lot of Billy Joe fans are, and I'm kind of a Billy Joe fan, is that we mentioned the David Lemieux performance, which was A-class, although it was, what, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. We don't mention when he got tagged in his other fights. Billy Joe's been tagged. I don't think he even looks good at 168 either. I don't think his feet are as good as they should be. At 160, I think Billy Joe's a lot more nimble. At 168, I think he carries a bit too much weight for his movement. So yes, Billy Joe has to have a lot of movement to answer your question, Quinn 40. But I do wonder about the extra weight. I do wonder about not fighting with this extra weight a few times to get used to this extra weight. And I do wonder about the inactivity prior to the Martin Murray fight. But look, I'm sold. I can't wait for it. Can't wait. All right. The guy Lucas said, should Canelo retire if he gets undisputed? Nope. Nope. If he's running through guys the way he's running through now, why retire? I'm always get in, get rich, get out. But it's not like he's taking any damage. Like Canelo doesn't even take damage. Like, don't take damage. I mean, his hardest fight was the Golovkin 1 fight, and that was brutal, but didn't seem to take too much damage in that either. He's a fucking machine. He's a machine. I think Canelo's on absolutely everything a doctor can give him right now. I'm sorry. I mean, this is a guy that got caught for clenbuterol. I don't believe that Canelo is doing all this legitly, put it that way. Dark Side, a rum punch as Billy Joe Saunders to lose 6-9. Do you think get stopped 6-9? Nah. I think this guy on points. I don't think Billy Joe Saunders is getting stopped. Billy Joe Saunders can take a whack, you know, can take a lick. Billy Joe Saunders is no scrub, people. No scrub. I'm telling you now. I think a lot of the fighters that fight Canelo, especially the ones recently, are all like they've lost before they got in the ring. Kovalev, I think, lost before he got in the ring. I even think Callum Smith did, as much as, you know, they'll pretend he didn't. I think he did. Fucking yielded him, definitely did. I don't think Billy Joe Saunders would. I really don't. So, we'll see how we get on. What we got here? Shit, so many questions have come in. Reese Morris says, Canelo versus Ggg 3. We would all watch it. I would watch it. See, look, I watch a lot of boxing. Certainly doesn't mean I would like it. I'm not a fan of Canelo versus Ggg 3. What's going on with what's going on with Ggg right now? This is a Canelo now that's had 3 fights. We'll have 3 fights in the space of 6 months. What's going on with Ggg? I mean, Zerameta wasn't tough work. Ggg should be out again now. Well, not now, but May, June. I ain't hearing shit. Strange. And when I think of a fight that Ggg should have, which should have been Demetrius Andrade, I mean, both signed to the zone. I mean, Andrade's going the Liam Williams route. Don't know. Quinn 40 says, by the way, you're 14 off 3,000 on Instagram. So close. Well done, dude. My Instagram handle, I'm going to put it in the chat. My Instagram handle is ade.oladipo. Can you all please subscribe to me, because we are so close. Someone just told me Liverpool 2, Sheffield United 1. Stop lying. Yeah, Liverpool 2, Sheffield United 0. Nice try, though. Nice try. Burn 8 Void says, do you think Canelo can lose at 168? He will be beat at 175. I mean, look, there are good fighters out there. You know, Caleb Plant's a good fight. Benavidez is a very, very tough fight. Charlo's a good fight if he comes up from 160. I mean, there are guys out there. Look, it's just, would he have those fights? I mean, those fights, the ones I just mentioned, are all difficult because they are all affiliated to another broadcaster, another organization. So those are difficult to make, but those are good fights. Like, don't no one tell me that Charlo, Benavidez, and Caleb Plant ain't good fights. They're good fights. But yeah, at 175, there's tough work up to 175. There's tough work. He said, didn't he, in an interview that He isn't going to 175 anytime soon. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. I mean, he's obviously watched Kovalev versus Anthony Yarde and realized that this guy is there for the taking. Like, as much as I respect that, in fact, he went up to 175 and fought Kovalev, that Kovalev was washed. I mean, Anthony Yarde, inexperienced Anthony Yarde, was that close from icing that man. Literally. So he was washed. So, yeah, I'll give you credit that he beat Kovalev, but he's smart. Go up there and fight Beterbiev. Go fight Bivol. Then we'll see. Do you know what I mean? And look, I'm not trying to say he should do that. I'm just trying to say a lot of people were getting a bit excited. Let him go up there and fight guys that aren't washed, that aren't damaged at 175. And I say Beterbiev and Bivol, anyone in that top 10. Because there's other guys out there as well. Joe Smith can bang. Then we'll see. But look, I do respect him. What we got here? Hader Rada says, if Billy Joe Saunders does not gas out, he wins the fight. That's for sure. How? Why is that so? What? If Billy Joe Saunders doesn't gas out, he beats Canelo. Because what? Because he's a better boxer than Canelo? Because he has a better gas tank? Because he can throw better combinations? I don't think so. We get so excited over here, don't we? Haida Radi, you must be British. You must be. We get like, what style does Billy Joe Saunders have that you think Canelo hasn't fought yet? That he hasn't learned from? Even in the close fights he had, obviously Floyd beat him. He learned a lot from that. You can see it in the way in which he fights now. He learns a lot from it. Lara, again, another tricky southpaw, very tricky. More trickier than Billy Joe. I thought that was a close fight, but he's learned from that. Canelo's got money in the bank right now. He's learning from everyone. He's like the fucking Highlander who takes your head off and takes your power. Come on, man. Don't be silly. Because of Billy Joe doing that thing that BT Sports would play every hour with Lemieux, all of a sudden, you think if Billy Joe doesn't gas, he wins. Nonsense. Jacob Quigg can see Billy Joe Saunders getting a draw. We'll see. Max Power says Billy Joe Saunders is on the clean too. Don't know. We had that problem, didn't he? The nasal spray, whatever, for Demetrius Andrade. Who knows? Amandeep Jahal says Billy Joe has quick hands and feet, which will be key. He does. Granted, he does. And the reason that's a good point is because Amir Khan caused Canelo. Let me word this correctly. He didn't cause Canelo problems. Like he wasn't hurting Canelo, but Canelo was kind of having to work out Amir Khan just because Amir Khan has very fast hands and fast-ish feet. Now, Billy Joe doesn't have Khan speed, not even in hands or foot. But speed is a problem for Canelo. Was a problem. Canelo now cuts off the ring very, very well. He cuts off the ring. He's a pressure fighter. He can take a punch. He throws punches and bunches. He has combinations. Good luck. Good luck. Oh shit! So many questions are coming in. Craig Connell says, Canelo finishes the fight the stronger. It'll be close for 6 to 8 rounds, but Canelo coasts to the points win. Maybe. I have seen a picture of Billy Joe Saunders. Does look in great shape. So look, he's going to be in shape. But yeah. You know what I like about Canelo? Like, he's got this fight in May, yeah? What are we now? We're pretty much, tomorrow's the 1st of March. You know what most fighters would do after a big fight? Even if it was an early fight, early win, like Canelo's was an early win. Most fighters would be like, I just want to, speak to my team. I want to chill with the family. It's been a difficult camp. It's been a hard camp. And then, we'll get together and we'll see what's next. Canelo announces what's next in the ring. And there is no get with the family, go on holiday, I've got to relax. No, I've got another fight coming up. Yeah. Interesting. Xavier, the boxing nerd, says, what if he's right and Billy Joe beats him and doesn't gas? We still have to watch the fight to see what happens. It's a good point. But what I'm a believer of what have you done for me lately? That's me in everything in life, right? What have you done for me lately? So I will look at what Canelo's done lately. I'll look at his resume. who he's beat, what he's done, every time I've seen him in shape, out of shape, performance levels of opponent, I'll do that. I'll hold that there. And then I'll go and do the same for Billy Joe. What have you done for me lately? And I'm going with this man over here, because what he's done for me in the last 3 years is 2 GGG fights, a Rocky Fielding blowout, a Yildirim blowout, Danny Jacobs, Callum Smith. That's what he's done for me lately. I'm going for that over anything on that side. Sorry for that and that, but you know what I mean. All right, super chat here from George Archibald. Ade, big up. Your hard work is admirable. What's your thoughts on the IBF ordering Ggg versus Hunter? Very tasty. You'll never walk alone. You will never walk alone because Liverpool have beaten Sheffield United 2-0. Get in. Oh, I can't lie. I was scared. Didn't watch it. Watched the first half. Watched about 10 minutes of the second half. Fuck me, Liverpool do give me problems, boy. Good fight, innit? Very good fight. I know that Martin Bakoli was very, very close to getting that Ggg fight, but it just makes sense. It's a final eliminator for AJ's IBF belt. I'm happy for Hunter. Hunter finally gets a name, gets a fight. Great fight this one is. Great fight. I need to know, does anyone know who's showing this fight? Where this fight's going to be? I do wonder. Obviously, Ggg is he not with the Saulands? And Hunter's obviously no longer with Matchroom. Who's showing this fight? I want to know, but that's a great fight. Andrew Campbell says, now Canelo is with Matchroom. I wonder if there is VADA testing. I think not. How interesting a question. Because normally it does say things like both fighters are now entering VADA testing. I don't know if I saw that for Canelo Yildirim. Did anyone see that? I didn't see that. Didn't see it. Interesting. Very, very interesting. GT says Billy Joe Saunders will only win 1 round. Maybe. But even if it, look, that doesn't mean the fight's not good, by the way. I've seen some great fights, which has been 10-9, 10-9, 10-9 all the way, but they've been 10-9 competitive rounds. So Billy Joe Saunders winning 1 round might not be a bad thing. It just means that Canelo's just winning the rounds just a bit more. I was going to say something. I've completely forgot. I was going to say, by the way, Eddie Hearn's delivered for his fighters, you know. Like Callum Smith was moaning a bit, or his manager, Joe Gallagher's manager / trainer was moaning. He got delivered Canelo. Billy Joe Saunders hasn't had the fights he wants. He's now getting delivered Canelo. I mean, fucking hell, Eddie could be the best promoter in the world, you know, right now. Could be the best promoter in the world. Guys, smash that bloody like button. What's going on? Only 213. Please. Kyle Palmer says, what about Golovkin fighting the winner of Saunders Canelo? Doesn't deserve it for me. You're not going to meet a bigger Golovkin fan than me, but as much as I'm a fan, you don't deserve it. He would have deserved it if he fought Demetrius Andrade, even though it's at 160, whatever. That you beat an unbeaten 2-8 world champion Andrade, you then deserve it, right? You don't deserve it for me. You can't come off a win against Zaramata. Who of you honestly knew who Zaramata was beforehand? I didn't. Can't come off the win. So for me, he's got to do something of note. There is a lot of talk about Golovkin versus Munguia. Is that enough? I still don't know. I personally want to see Caleb Plant. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see, but we'll see. 300 likes would be nice, people. There's 701 of you watching. 300 likes. Come on. GT says Gennady Golovkin will fight Eubank. He won't fight Eubank. That's not going to happen. Eubank isn't going to fight on DAZN, the DAZN platform. So that fight's not happening. It sounds good and it's nice to say, but he won't. I don't know who Eubank fight. I think Eubank might be fighting Murata. I'm not quite sure. Saunders, this is from Jay. Saunders to beat Canelo and get robbed 118, 110. Usual Canelo fixed fights. That's harsh. Does Canelo have favoritism? Yes, with the judges. Yes, we know that. But I mean, come on, we've seen some dodgy decisions over here in the UK. You know what it is? Even if Billy Joe puts in a fantastic performance and gets robbed, we will know as the fans that Billy Joe's putting a performance. So, you know, that doesn't help Billy Joe, but we will know, right? And we call it out. We call it out, and promoters will call it out. But I don't think it's going to get to that. Eric Diaz says, where does Billy Joe go if he loses to Canelo. Would like to see the rematch with Eubank. I'd love to see that. I'm all for that. I'm in. I'm signed. I'm all for that one. But again, I don't think so. It's almost like I wanted to see the rematch for years between James DeGale and George Groves. They kept talking about it, kept talking about it, kept talking about it. Never happened. Some fights just don't happen again. So I don't know. Big Nick says, winner of Charlo and Ggg. I think he said gets Canelo. Maybe. Scott Arbuckle says, Eubank is 31. He won't ever win a world title. Now, 31 ain't old. 31 old? Not for someone that keeps himself in the shape Eubank does. I don't know. Like, there is a good chance with Canelo that if he does win and win all the belts and becomes undisputed, unified undisputed, he could just literally chuck all the belts away. We know how this guy chucks belts away. We saw him do it at 175. He wins a belt, chucks it away. It means nothing for him. So there's definitely, opportunities there of vacant belts. I wouldn't rule out Eubank winning a world title. I don't think Eubank's that great, but there's something about Eubank. What we got here? All right, I'm gonna block Hyder Rada in a minute. AJ Fury just announced you're gonna get you're close to getting blocked. What we got here? Simon Punter says just like. Thank you, Simon. Simon Punter also says Saunders will get knocked out within 4 to 5 rounds, rocked by Isifu, losing to Cansares and went 12 with a 5-year past it Murray. Canelo will hammer him easily. My money will be on a KO in the first 6 rounds. There is something about Billy Joe Saunders where I feel like he rises to the level of his opponent. There's something about that. That could be me giving him a get out of jail card, but I think there is something about Billy Joe where if you're shit and you're in front of him, he knows you're shit. I don't think he prepares properly, and I think he boxes to your level. If you're good, I think he knows it, and I think he works his fucking arse off. And we are going to see the best Billy Joe Saunders we've ever seen. That said, is that enough? Again, I don't think so. I think it needs to be a bit more than that. But I have no doubt in my mind that he raises his level according to the level of opponents that are in front of him. Jacob Quigg says, Ade, Billy Joe Saunders beats all of the opponents Canelo has beaten at middle, super middle. No, come on. No. Billy Joe does not beat Golovkin. No, not maybe now, but not the Golovkin. But come on, even Danny Jacobs. I mean, we're stretching now. We're stretching. Like, why do we think this? Billy Joe's just got this weird, mystical thing when it comes to British fight fans. I don't know why. I mean, I think he's good and I love him, but I don't know why we think he beats all the people that Canelo's beaten. Anyway, it's interesting. It's interesting opinions. Oh, anyway, it's interesting. What we got here? No one, absolutely no one, Ade, but what have you done for me lately? It's important. Guys, what have you done for me lately in boxing is important. Because we like to remember what these guys did 3 years ago and somehow carry that as though they can just automatically, just magically bring that to the table. Like, oh, I'm going to turn into Billy Joe that fought David Lemieux right now. Doesn't work like that, man. Doesn't work like that. It's what have you done for me lately? Crazy D3 says, is Mark Tibbs capable of outsmarting Eddie Reynoso? Look, Reynoso obviously right now is a top trainer. Don't sleep on Mark Tibbs though. Mark Tibbs is a good trainer. Sometimes at this level, it's just your relationship with your trainer. And obviously Billy Joe has a good relationship. And it's a long-standing relationship with Mark Tibbs. He's known the Tibbs family for a very, very long time. So if Mark Tibbs can get the best out of him, then it might be enough. Obviously Reynoso, and Canelo right now, I mean, that combination's scary, right? Fucking frightening. Andrew says, Eubank left PBC so he could fight on DAZN Matchroom. He's now with the Saulands. Yeah, we know that. Christopher Klaus says, will Eddie sign Crawford? I hope not. I hope not. What 147 fighters has Eddie got? I hope not. If Crawford's going to go anywhere, I hope it's PBC. Sean Fowler says, Tommy Fury is a joke of a man. He said he can't take AJ seriously. After Tommy beat someone who was 0-11, he jumped on the turnbuckle like he won a world title. Yeah, I saw that. You know, a few people reached out to me and said, was talking about the BT Sports card and was like, if Matchroom put on that card, everyone would be going mad with Eddie Hearn. That's true, but you got to understand how it works. BT Sport give Frank Warren and Queensberry a budget to put these shows on. So they pay them a budget. Now, Sky obviously pay Matchroom a budget as well. I don't know how much it is, but they get paid. So BT Sports are obviously paying Frank a lot less than Sky are paying Matchroom. So that's all Frank can do with the money he's been given. He's not given a lot. BT Sports aren't going to pay a lot to Frank to put these fights on. And Sky pay a decent amount to Eddie. That's what it is. It's not like Matchroom and Queensberry are putting the money up themselves. That's not how it works, people. Hopefully you know that anyway. What have I got here? Kriana Tudor says, how far do you think Canelo could go up in weight classes and be a champion in every division? Oh, stop it. Man, no. Listen, he's maxing out now. Like, he was very smart with the the Kovalev fight. He's maxed out at 168. Hamed Ali says exactly the same thing. Ade, what do you think of Canelo going to 175? Does he beat the likes of Beterbiev and Bivol? Do you think, see the way he walked down Yildirim yesterday? Do you think he's walking Beterbiev down like that? Have you guys watched Beterbiev? Do you know the size of Beterbiev? He's not, and the punch power. He ain't walking Beterbiev down like that. No way. No way. Joe Stunner says it's all smoke and mirrors with Billy. He talks a lot and people buy into it. He's not a bad fighter, but a lot of the support comes from people who want him to win. They're not being objective. They're not at all. Honestly, they're not being objective at all. It is that. There is a lot of... He's good at selling, right? I mean, and some people buy. He's very good at doing it. Credit to him. Look, we know there's a good fighter in there, but, I mean, he's fighting a pound-for-pound #1 in the world. Good luck. Lloyd Gibbs says the Frank Warren card was last minute as well. It was supposed to be Carl Frampton versus Hearn this weekend. Yeah, so that doesn't mean it was last minute. That means the main event was pulled. The undercard was the undercard. So that would have then been, I'm guessing, the undercard for Frampton Hearn. Dr. Wu in the building says Billy Joe Saunders might schedule in a last minute excuse not to fight. No chance. Dr. Wu. I mean, this is what he's been waiting for. This is the biggest paycheck of his life. This is the biggest opportunity of his life as well. This is the chance for him to have let one foot in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be ready. If ever or not that's enough, I don't know. Guy Lucas says, since Garcia Pac-Man fell through, Garcia versus Haney next. Don't know. Listening to Ryan Garcia on that stream, that DAZN stream, he kept talking about Gervonta Davis. He said he's going to fight Gervonta Davis this year. So that's the fight he wants. And he's like, he wants to fight Gervonta Davis. And it's not Nike against Gervonta Davis. He said but he wants Gervonta Davis. Hamid Ali says, Ade, Beterbiev is 36 now. Do you think Canelo would fight him if he say closer to 40, like maybe 38, 39? No. I think there are too many good fights now for Canelo at 160 or 168. He wants to stay at 168, so it's about the guys at 160 coming up. He's not going to 175 again. Babe, he's way too small. Like, he was small for Yildirim yesterday. Like, he's given a lot away. Beterbiev is huge. Like, Beterbiev must be the biggest light heavy out there. It's far too big. Far too big. Scott Arbuckle says, Addy, do you think DAZN need better commentators? Yes, I do. I'm not a fan of their commentary team at all. Wasn't Sugar Ray Leonard part of their commentary team for such a long time? But yeah, I'm not a fan of him at all. Bazwell says, Ethan, Ade, lovely to see you. Lovely to see you, Bazwell. Guys, can you all smash the like button for me, please? It'll be very, very much appreciated. Thank you. Appreciative. It's been a long day. Leon says, how many body shots can Billy Joe Saunders take, though? I know, because, boy, Canelo does like to go to the body. And Canelo disguises it so well. Pretends he's going to the body, then goes up top. pretends he's going up top, then goes to the body. Oscar Valdez done that against Miguel Bichel. Ryan Garcia done that against Luke Campbell. It's clearly something they work on in that camp. Abin Anil says, people are sleeping and disrespectful of Bertabiev's ability, making it sound like Canelo beats him easily. No, I don't think anyone's doing that, if I'm honest with you. I just think everyone's very high on Canelo. Ryan Garcia did say that he would like to see Canelo versus Caleb Plant, but then he also said he'd like to see Canelo versus Errol Spence. I mean, that's never going to happen. They're 20 pounds apart. I mean, anything can happen, but I'll be shocked if that happens. It will be a massive fight, though, if that was to happen. Massive. What else we got here? Hanan Malik says, Saunders could just about keep Lemieux off him. No. You need to watch that fight again. Just about kept Lemieux off him quite easily. It's Boxing Time says, DAZN's doing amazing work. By the way, I do love their app. I don't know if you guys have all got it. I think the app's fantastic. I mean, it's not just they show you so much. So I don't know how much it's going to go up to, but even if it was £5 a month, I'm not stopping my subscription. For $1.99 for all that, unreal value for money. Leon says, would Canelo be favoured against Bivol? Yes, he would be favoured because he's got that mystique about him. But I think a lot of hardcore boxing fans would have Bivol beating him, but be a great fight, that one, because Bivol's not the biggest light heavy either. Be a good fight. Bivol's desperate for an opponent, by the way. That's why they're trying to match him up with Craig Richards. Second City Saint says, Gennady Golovkin beat Canelo in the second fight. Tough. Again, I'm a Golovkin fan, so that was a tough fight. I could see how that could be scored either way. Ggg definitely won the first fight. Second fight, I don't know. I feel like when you're a fan of someone, you start to see what you want to see, if that makes any sense, rather than watching it objectively. It's quite difficult. All right, last 7 minutes, people. We're nearly touching the hour. Please, smash the like button for me, please, peeps. Smash the like button. Thank you very much to everyone that's done that. What else we got here now? Jacob Quigg says, do you think Ryder versus Chris Eubank Jr. is a good fight? I do. I like that fight. I like that fight quite a lot. What we got now? Someone called it unconscious bias. Lee King Anos. He's correct. He is correct. Simon Punter said, did you watch the Tommy Fury fight? He looked juiced up to the nines. And John claimed he didn't lift weights. It's from sit-ups and road work. No comment. No comment. Kriana Tudor says, where do you see Usyk in the next 2 years fighting for a world title? Because I think he beats Joe Joyce. Fighting for a world title. And look, could Usyk beat Joshua? Could he outbox him? Yeah. So look, there or thereabouts. 1 second, how old's Usyk? 1 sec. 34. Yeah, he could keep going to 36. No doubt about that. Haggis Supper says, Chris Mannix is the most annoying guy ever. I just don't like the commentary team, if I'm honest with you. I think Chris Mannix does actually a good job when he does his in-ring interviews. But like yesterday, I just wanted Max Kellerman to do it. I so miss Max not doing as much as he used to. Obviously, Max was HBO's guy. I miss not seeing Max do stuff. I think Max Kellerman, I want him ringside. I want him doing in-ring commentary. I think he's amazing. Like my dream team of commentators and in-ring guys would be, I love the energy Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward have, by the way. I wouldn't mind chucking Paulie with them and Max. That would be a dream team. Max Kellerman, Paulie Malignaggi, Tim Bradley, and Andre Ward. From this country, I actually like Adam Smith. I know people seem to dig him. And I like Dave Caldwell as well. I think Dave Caldwell is very good. People say Max Kellerman is the best in the business. Yeah, he is. He is. And that's why, like, you know, when people say, yeah, Richie Woodall, good shout as well, Richie Woodall. You know, when people say, oh, like, has to be a boxer, like, oh, no, I need to hear a boxer. I need to hear a boxer. I'm like, you don't. Because Adam Smith is so good, didn't box. Max Kellerman, so good, used to be a rapper. You know what I mean? Like, if you've got boxing knowledge and you can deliver well, Max is the best in the business, you know. Super chat here from Crazy D3. Best thing about staying up for the fight card last night was Kate Abdo looking like a snack. Yeah, special. Kate Abdo, special blood. She's with that guy, innit? The darker skinned one. I can't remember his name. She's with him, right? Kate Abdo, special blood. She speak like fucking 10 languages as well. Steve Costello. Yeah, Steve Costello is very good. But I think Adam Smith is very good. Barry Jones is good over here as well. Glenn McCory, he's all right. He's all right. A lot of people saying Barry Jones in here as well. Matthew Macklin wouldn't be in my top 10. Wouldn't be in my top 10. Over here, Costello, Adam Smith, Richie Woodall. I'll tell you who's very good. Doesn't get a lot of work though. Enzo McAnelli's pretty good. Doesn't get a lot of work. Roy Jones is good, but Roy Jones, yeah, he's all right. Roy Jones was really good. Like the old school ones that used to do it like back in the day, like George Foreman, Roy Jones, Lennox Lewis, they were pretty good. It says, Ade, are you hearing rumours of Yard to Matchroom? Yes, let's quickly talk about that. I am. It's not even rumours. I saw a tweet the other day from Spencer Fearon. Obviously, he does that show, Fight is Right, with Tunde Ajayi. And I think he said something like Eddie Hearn is trying to call Tunde on a tweet. And then the other day, someone put a tweet out saying that he heard that Anthony Yard is going to Matchroom, and Spencer Fearon liked the tweet. So that's what I was thinking. Is there something going on? I don't know. I do wonder. I never know. Rusty Dagger says Teddy Atlas. Yeah, Teddy is a goat. Teddy is a goat. And I wonder if they just don't like the fact that Teddy is so outspoken. Like Teddy and Paulie will say what they want. And that maybe that's why they both of them don't get as much work as they used to, but they're both goats. Do you think, this is from Bingas Bongus, do you think Taylor, versus Crawford is a fight to be made in the future? Do you think Taylor could beat Crawford? I do not think Josh Taylor can beat Terence Crawford. No, sorry. No disrespect to anyone that's a Josh Taylor fan, but no, I don't. Andy Lee. Yeah, Andy Lee, another good one. And Leon says, what's next for Loma? We don't know yet. There has been some whispers about him going down to 130 to fight Oscar Valdez. Obviously, they had a few fights in the amateurs. Obviously, Loma winning every single one of them, but Oscar Valdez gave him good work. A couple of their fights are on YouTube. You can just type it in and you see a couple of their fights. One was in the World Championship, one was in the Olympics. Go and watch them. Good fights. Good fights. Quinn 40 says, you should really talk about AJ Fury, but even I'm getting fed up until it's announced. That's my stance. Kind of fed up with it. I want to talk about it. I mean, every single week I do a video about it, Quinn. And I appreciate the super chat, my man, but every single week I do a video about it. I don't want to regurgitate all the stuff that we already know. I want to tell you something different. And there's nothing to say right now. There is nothing to say. Yeah, we can only wait. We can only wait and pray and hope, right? Right now, Mr. CRB could be bloody right, man. Could be right. Super chat here from Jake Jansen says, okay, I like Billy Joe Saunders. However, if he is as good as he says, or people think, why has he never fought an elite fighter? If someone that good, why the CV poor? You know, this is a very good question about the CV being poor for some fighters. I almost feel like if you're not like an elite superpower that generates millions and millions and millions, it must be quite difficult to make fights. Like a lot of people are talking about Canelo fighting 4 or 5 times this year. That's because the broadcasters are pushing hard to Canelo to fight so many times this year, because Canelo generates so much money for the broadcasters. So they're going to want to push for Canelo to fight so many times this year because Canelo generates so much money for them, and obviously generates a lot of money for himself. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. There are some fighters that do want to fight 5 or 6 times in a year, but they don't generate any money. So the broadcasters aren't pushing and trying to find them fights, and you don't generate any money for us. You know what I mean? You're not a big ticket seller. You're not a pay-per-view fighter. Canelo is obviously all those things. So if Canelo phones up Mr. Promoter and says, yeah, I feel like fighting, they're like, yeah, what? We'll find you a fight now. Someone else phones up and says, yeah, I want to fight. It's like, yeah, give me 5, you know? So sometimes I feel like when you see some of these fighters' records and we say, okay, there's nothing on the record, they're trying to get those fights, but they just can't make those fights. Some of them just can't make them. Look, there is a part of it that both parties sometimes want big money to fight. Like we see it with Crawford versus Errol Spence is a good example. Sometimes there's not enough money in the pot. There's always enough money in a Canelo pot. There's always enough money in an AJ pot. Even a Tyson Fury pot right now. Maybe not Fury, but an AJ pot, a Canelo pot. Not everyone else can do that. I hope that makes any sense. I was going a bit rambling on a bit there. Apologies, peeps. Super chat here from Mr. Sugar. Says, if Sky eventually offered you your own twice weekly exclusive show on sports, 80k salary, but you had to wrap up the channel, what you doing? No chance. There's absolutely no way on this earth. Guys, let me tell you this. I've been offered work. And this is like, I've been offered work. And, you know, I know the work I've been offered would mean I probably have to tone down what I say on this, or I would be more favorable to whoever I'm working for. And I've not taken the work. So yeah, nothing. No, nothing. What we got here? All right, last couple of minutes. I need to watch this. Someone said to me, have I seen? Kevin Bakemalt says, have you seen the Tyson versus Bruno doc? I haven't. I might watch it. 9:30, I might watch it tonight. If Canelo, this is from Andy, says, if Canelo becomes undisputed and beats Charlo and Andrade, who else is there for him to beat, in your opinion, other than Benavidez? Well, that's kind of the other, right? It will be Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant's there. Oh, he said if he becomes undisputed, okay. You know, there's always guys coming up, you know. Always guys coming up. Like Munguia would be a massive Mexican fighter. Munguia can get a belt at 160 and jump up himself. Be a good, big Mexican fight. There's always someone. This is boxing. There's always someone. What we got here? Someone saying Parker versus VAR was so bad. GT says, why does your voice sound so different on TalkSport? Couple of things. Firstly, because I'm talking about sports that I don't have the same amount of passion for. Like sometimes I'm talking about horse racing or football, which I've got a bit of passion for football, not the same that I do have for MMA and boxing. So I think I'm not as amped up as I am now. Secondly, I'm doing a lot of reads sometimes. So there's always something that I'm reading. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't fuck up with my reading. So I'm taking my time. So there's a few things. And thirdly, obviously the mic is a lot different. I mean, this is a cheap £12 mic. Obviously the one I'm using for TalkSport's like over £1,000. So the sound quality is a bit different. All right, last couple of bits, peeps. Oh shit, I just missed something. Martin Bannon says, I'd be lost without my ad vids. I'd be lost. And honestly, I did, like, there's no amount, calm down, Addy. I'm about to say there's no amount of money, but it'll be very, very difficult for me to stop filming. Very, I think, in fact, impossible. Impossible. Like, I enjoy this so much. Like, I've literally come home. I finished, you guys know this, I finished TalkSport at 7 o'clock, out of the building at 7:15, home, 8:05. I had a quick snack. We're doing this at 8:30. Mate, no chance. No chance. Scott Arbuckle says, Addy, you still haven't got Andy Cole on the channel. It's coming. It's coming. Andy Cole's agreed to do it. It's coming. All right, last question. Boxing with Sean says, Andrade all day. Charlo struggles with southpaws. Not that easy, man. People make boxing sound so easy, like, oh, Andrade all day to beat Charlo. Who's Andrade beaten? You know, when we talk about who's this person beaten, like who's Billy Joe, who's Andrade beaten? Andrade fought for a vacant title against Walter Katundokwa. That was Billy Joe's vacant title. Walter Katundokwa. I watched I commentated, me, Ade, commentated on Walter Katandokwa's next fight in Zimbabwe in front of 100 people. That's who he fought for a vacant world title. Walter Katandokwa. If you think I'm lying, go onto BoxRec right now and check where Walter Katandokwa's next fight was. Yours truly was commentating on it. He ain't beat no one. Simon Punter says, Ade's voice is different because they probably send him to the makeup room before the show starts when he comes out feeling like a lady. You don't need makeup for radio, Simon. Nice try, my friend, but you don't need it. Jake Jansen says, a rant here. Sorry, typical boxing going on about all these major fights. Four Kings, obviously in reference to the lightweight guys, AJ Fury, Joe Joyce Usyk, Terence Crawford Spencer. Nothing ever happens every year. I will say this though, in response to that, it's been a good 12 months. As much as we get upset about it, I mean, we've had some good fights at 130 pounds, maybe not 135. Miguel Bachat just fought Oscar Valdez. That was a good scrap. I'm all for that. We have Estrada versus Chocolatito coming up. I mean, the back end of last year, we got some good fights. I thought Povetkin versus White was entertaining. We're getting that again, the rematch of that one. Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell had me on my feet. Errol Spence came back and fought Danny Garcia. Usyk versus Chisora was a good little scrap. You know, Wilder versus Fury was last year, February. We've had some good ones. We might be missing out on a few, but we've had some good ones. Two secs. I said 5. What am I doing? I need to go. Look at me. I said 5. Oh, before I go, 360 likes. Is it possible to get to 400? If I give you 5 more minutes, can we get to 400? I'll give you 5 minutes. GT says, who does White fight if he wins? I wouldn't mind seeing White fight the winner of Hrgovic Hunter. You're sold on that, ain't you? You're sold on that, boy. Good fight, that one, innit? Bingus Bongus says, do you think Ben versus Porter is a potential fight for the future? Ben beat Formella better than Porter. Nah, not conclusive, but still begs the question. Ben ain't going to want to see Porter. Porter was not up for Formella. Like that Formella fight was the biggest fight of Ben's career. That Porter fight for Formella was the worst fight he's had in terms of name value in the last 5 years. See the difference? So Ben's up for it. It's big. You see him really pumped up before and after. Porter's like, yeah, it meant nothing for him. So that wasn't the best Porter. Put it that way. Come on. Oh, 399. We're only one away, 1 like away. Who's going to be that person for 400? Who's going to be? Oh, yeah, thank you. Guys, it's been a pleasure. There's been nearly 10,000 of you. 10,000 of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I wanted to go a bit longer, but I am slightly tired. It has been a long week. You know what I should have done? I should have got myself a bit more alcohol. You know what? Should we do 5 more minutes? Shall I go and quickly get alcohol? Let's see what people say. Let me go and get another drink. And I might do 5. What's everyone saying? Big up Ade, big up Ade. All right, you know what? I'll do 5. I'll do 5 more minutes. Let me go and get some alcohol. Hold up, please. What should I get? Rum or whiskey? What are you saying? What are you saying? Rum or whiskey? What are you saying? Bring the bottle. Fuck it, how easy, son. Someone saying there's some racist on there. I'll get them off when I come back. All right, let's go. Let's go. Boom. Ooh, some good shit. Just a little bit. All right, we're back. Put this mic on. You know what? I'm only doing this because I love you all. 5 more minutes with a bit of Appleton. That is some good shit. All right, we're here. We're back, people, for 5 more. Why not? Ade, what you drinking? This is Amandeep Johal. Amandeep, we are drinking Appleton Estate. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see it. Well, you know, wait. Hopefully you can. Pretty good. Pretty good. I should be sponsored by them. Ade, what's your favourite spirit? I'm 18 and only drink beer. I can't even recommend you drink. I didn't start drinking until I was like 23, 24. And yeah, so don't do it. Hammer Smith says, hey, Ade, out of the 4 kings, I hate, by the way, that they're called 4 kings. I hate it, but I know who you're referring to. What will be the first matchup? I think it's more likely to be Haney Garcia. But I did hear that that ain't going to happen. But I think that's the more likely of them. I think Teofimo's going to have 1 or 2 more than go to 140. I wouldn't be shocked if Teofimo has this fight coming up against Cambosos and then goes to 140 and tries to get the winner of Josh Taylor versus Ramirez and tries to become undisputed at 140. Wouldn't shock me. Leon says, best, most realistic place for AJ Fury 1 in your opinion? Middle East somewhere. Dubai, maybe, even? Possibility, right? We're seeing Frampton Herring there, so it wouldn't shock me. Someone saying I'm on 2,995 Insta followers. Well, we need to get to 3,000 now. So the Insta, let me put it in, is Ade Oladipo. It's that simple. Go and follow me on Instagram. Some fun stuff there. I actually I had a competition today with Darren Bent, I'm name dropping here, and Andy Cole. And I had to kick the ball into this big chair. And if I did, I was going to win a pair of brand new Converse. Not that I can't buy them myself. And I hit the fucking bar. Go and check the Instagram, you see what I'm talking about. Prograis was announced. It's on Triller. Who's Prograis fighting? Who's Prograis fighting on Triller? What we got here? What's your opinion on Teofimo Aram situation? Well, Aram's I don't like any promoter. Sorry, promoters are dodgy as fuck, man. Teofimo, whatever he's doing, I respect him. I respect whatever he's doing. You know what? I've just realised. So I'm looking at my cup. So I'm watching myself, basically, on this laptop. So I'm reading your questions and I'm watching myself. I can see how it looks like my cup's going to fall. It's quite deceiving on this screen because the space is so much bigger, but it looks like it's right on the edge. It's not on the edge, you know. It's not on the edge. Look, that there is on the edge. There. That's the edge. Yeah. Anyway. What we got? Okay, he's fighting Red Catch. Okay. Progress fighting Red Catch, yeah? How bad was Parker? So bad, we're not even going to talk about it. Ade, where did you get the infamous green chair? So I used to make these. No bullshit, I used to make these. Me and my ex used to make, they're called Chesterfields. Everyone calls it like the Matrix chair or whatever, but they're called Chesterfields. That's what they're called. So back in the day, they were actually, like back in the day, like real way back, they were just like art pieces. People didn't even used to sit on them because they're not very comfortable. So I actually used to make them, but I got this one for like 30 quid. I know, cheap as chips. Was it 30 quid? 30 quid delivery, 30 quid, yeah, around that. There's one over there though that you guys never see, just there. That's the real deal. That one's proper, but this one's very cheap. Big Nick says, Ade, Jerry Forrest versus Fabio Wardley. What do you think? Love it. Love it. Wardley ain't ready for that work yet. Not yet. Not yet. Nah. I deserve that drink for the work I put in. I put in so much work. I'm busy, you know, people. I'm busy. What we got? Oh, you want to see it? I can't because I have to turn the camera around. It's a bit long. It's a bit long, that one. But yeah, what we got here? What we got here? Last couple of questions because your boy's tired. Is Eddie Hearn the best promoter for boxing? Yeah, by far. If anyone says no, it's just they're hating. Of course he is. Of course, man. Like, he's by far the best boxer. Like, he's got AJ and Canelo. Well, he's not got AJ, but he works alongside Canelo, and he's got AJ. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Easily the best boxer. BG London says, what's cooking, Eddie? What's cooking, BG? What's cooking, brother? Eddie's on fire. He is right now. He is. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, PBC are always going to be there. Bob's doing a great job as well. Let's not sleep on Bob too much. But yeah, come on, man. Yeah. Sam So says, correction, he's got Canelo for one more fight. Do you really think, Sam So, that, by the way, that's everyone, by the way. It's like Eddie Hearn and promoters don't sign like 20 fight contracts. Everyone's like 2 or 3 fight deals. But do you really think that Canelo's not going to re-up with him? Come on, man. They love that partnership. I mean, Eddie fucking loves Canelo. Canelo seems to love Eddie. He always talks about Eddie now being a part of his team. They're going to re-up. They're fine. Nathan Francis says, Ade, post a pic of your other chair on your Instagram. You know what it is, yeah? You know when I say I used to make these? Like if you go and type in, it's quite long actually. I say, basically, I've been to 10 Downing Street to see the Prime Minister. Prince Charles has come to see us. That's how mad it is. Karma Serene says, there's my favorite TalkSport host. Thank you, Karma. Thank you. All right, I think we're done. G-Man Boxing says, Oscar De La Hoya still in tears over Canelo. Must be. Like, imagine if you're Oscar watching what's happening right now. You're seeing Eddie Hearn in the photos. So it does look pretty dodgy, doesn't it? Like, so he's gone to court, removed the Zone and Oscar, and 2 months later, he's back on the Zone and is now inked to deal with Matchroom. And the only person missing from this equation is Oscar. Can't be happy. Can't be happy. All right, all right, guys, I'm done. I'm tired, I'm done, I'm going home. When I say home, what I mean is I'm going to the bedroom, which is right there because your boy's shattered. Your boy's shattered. Peace and love, everyone. Have a good Sunday. Have a relaxing Sunday. Stay safe. Peace out.